fans of high quality entertainment. I want to talk about Queen, but just before I do, I just wanted to let you know that I'm still listening to the final album in the Genesis Ranking and Review series, Calling All Stations, and I just want to tell you that the very first time I listened to this album all the way through, sometimes it was painful and I did not enjoy it. I liked bits of it, but overall I was thinking this isn't going to have a good rating or ranking. And then last night I listened to it again and I actually enjoyed at least some of it. And so I'm not ready to rank and review this yet. I'm going to give it at least one or two more listens before I do. But I will say, like I just said, I did enjoy it more on the second listen. Now, next up I'm going to be reviewing and ranking all of the Queen albums. And I thought just for this video I would give you an introduction of everything I know about Queen. Well, you know, their albums, the ones I know and the ones I don't know as well. And just my thoughts in general about Queen. Let me first say this. Queen is, they're probably in my top 10 bands of all time. I know I did a top 10 list probably fairly recently. I don't even know if they made the top 10, but they would now. And even though they wouldn't be in my, you know, I think Sparks and Yes would be above them for my favorite bands. I will say this. I believe that after the Beatles, Queen is the best rock band of all time. There, I said it. They, so much talent in that band. I mean, there's Freddie Mercury, of course, but then you have Roger Taylor, great drummer and amazing vocalist and songwriter. And Brian May, what an amazing guitarist. He has a very nice voice and, of course, he wrote great songs. And then John Deacon, great bassist, and of course he wrote a lot of great songs. And just so you know, if somebody was saying who's the next Beatles, it's like, well, Queen was the next Beatles for me. And that being said, growing up with Queen in the 70s, I was a big fan, but you know, I preferred some albums over other albums. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit of right now what I think, because once I start the series, I really take my time listening to each album, especially the ones I don't know as well as the ones I do. So first up, their debut album, Queen. I actually remember my brother buying this, probably the week it came out. And us both thinking, oh, they're kind of like, they sound a bit like Led Zeppelin. And so we were kind of impressed with this album. And so it's always been, I wouldn't say everything on it, but Keep Yourself Alive is probably one of my all-time favorite Queen songs. And Doing All Right is great. Great King Rat. Modern Times Rock and Roll, of course. And then some of it, I just never loved as much, like Son and Daughter and Jesus, Seven Seas of Rye. But I've been listening to some of these albums before I do my ranking and review, and I love this album, is all I'll say for now. So I think this is probably gonna be possibly my best series, because I'm really excited to do it, and I have no idea how I'm going to rank these albums, because quite a few of these albums I really do love. Now, Queen 2, when it came out, I only ever really loved the second side of it. The Fairy Feller's Master Stroke, the March of the Black Queen, Org Battle. And then side 2, I could just never ever get into. And every few months I'd play it and I would still struggle with it. And then just in the last week I played this 2 or 3 times and I love side 1. I don't know if it's an age thing or what, and I'm not forcing myself to love it. I'm actually really enjoying this album, for like the whole album, for the first time ever. I might even play it again tonight. Queen, Sheer Heart Attack, I bought that when it came out in 1975. Absolutely loved it right away. And so I know this album very well. No idea how I'm going to rank it compared to their first and second, or the later albums, but I know this very well. But when I do my ranking and review, I'm still going to really listen to it at least a couple of times. And then there's Queen, A Night at the Opera, of course, which I bought when it came out, and the only song on it I never cared for was Sweet Lady. But that might change. And of course, Bohemian Rhapsody. Of course it's way overplayed, but when I listen to it on headphones, because when I hear it otherwise, it's on the radio or whatever, it's a different experience on headphones and you're really concentrating on the music. And so I still really enjoy the song and this album. Another album that I liked, but I never loved, is A Day at the Races. And like I said, I've been playing some Queen albums lately, getting ready for the series. And once again, it hit me that I actually love this whole album. I was really impressed. It's like it finally hit me that this is a great album. I mean, I always loved Tie Your Mother Down and, Somebody to Love. But the other songs just never, and now I love them. Now, the 5 albums I'm still waiting for. It's a box set with, I think, 2 CDs in each one. They're 2011 remasters. And so the albums News of the World, absolutely love that. Jazz, very underrated, so I'm already a fan of jazz. The Game, the last time I heard The Game on Spotify, I loved it. Flash Gordon, I'm not sure of. I have heard it, but I would need to listen to it 2 or 3 times. And then Hot Space, I did a video a few months ago, does this album suck or not? And at the end I said it does not suck. I enjoyed it. I know it's not going to be ranked high, I don't believe, but it's not a bad album. So I even liked Hot Space. So even if, these CDs were supposed to be in like 2 weeks ago, but because of COVID-19 and they're coming from the States, it's slow. But once I start this series, I'm going to start it right after I review the last Genesis album, Calling All Stations. I'm going to start the series. And even if it hasn't arrived, I'll listen to the albums on Spotify if I have to. And then there's Queen the Works, which I've never totally... See, some of these songs I don't even know, like Keep Passing the Open Windows, It's a Hard Life. I need to listen to this more, but of course I love Radio Gaga, Hammer to Fall, but I need to listen to this much more. Then Queen, A Kind of Magic. Same thing. I know One Vision, A Kind of Magic I really love. And that's about it. I have heard this album, a couple of times in the past, but I've just never taken the time to really listen to it. And then The Miracle. I Want It All, I know, which is pretty good. And that's about it. Yeah. So these are the, like I said, the 2011 remasters, and they come with bonus tracks there. And then their final album with Freddie Mercury, of course, before he passed away, Innuendo. I've always loved this album. And very underrated song would be Ride the Wild Wind, one of my favorite Queen songs ever. And then, you know, just the rest of it I absolutely love, for the most part. I think All God's People kind of used to annoy me, but we'll see if that changes. And then their final album with Freddie, of course, after he passed away, Made in Heaven. I kind of wish they'd left it at Innuendo, but I know that if I didn't review this, some viewers would be complaining. So I am going to take my time and give it a few listens. Yeah, so that's it. I just think, like I said, Queen is, just listening to their debut album and then Queen 2 last night, the weakest thing about those two albums, in my opinion, is the production. But even last night listening to, I don't know if it's because of the remasters or what, but it's like, oh, it's not as bad as I remember it being. Maybe not bad, but I mean not as good as it could be production-wise. That's it for me rambling. But like I said, I know there's a lot of Queen fans out there, and of course people are gonna not like everything I say about each album, but it'll just be my opinion, and I just hope you enjoy it, and I get lots of feedback and comments and likes on the videos, and really looking forward to it. So stay tuned. I'm going to listen to Calling All Stations again tonight, maybe even twice, and then I'll be doing my review tomorrow, and then I'll start up the Queen series. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.